You're listening to Passages, a podcast about great quotes, life, and the wisdom of the Bible. And now your hosts, Drew Kaiser, Jason Pulliam, and Tim Layton.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are.
It's the Passage Boys.
We're back.
And Jason, you're using that voice because we're nearing Halloween, All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, and I mean, I have got my pumpkins all carved and out in the yard, and man, my Halloween decorations are up. All the
Are you and
creepy
Cassie
things.
and the boys going trick-or-treating
No,
on the big evening?
no. In fact, I plan on turning off all the lights as quickly as possible and hoping that no one ventures down the driveway.
You know,
Well, you got a good shot at that because it's a long walk to your front door.
That's right. That's right.
have y'all noticed that Halloween decorations have become quite a thing? Almost like Christmas
Yeah.
decorations. I mean,
It's all.
I'm
it's the
surprised
same
you're
thing.
not
It's
in on that game, Tim.
I know.
It's
I mean,
the
Father
same thing
Christmas.
with the
started-
Hallmark cards.
I really
It's
have
a
come
racket.
very close to purchasing the Halloween Buc-ee's beaver because I have the Christmas Buc-ee's beaver. And I think to support, Leeds Buc-ee's, I think I might need to go with
Well, have you? There's this house that's down here on the corner by the middle school. I think they
Yeah.
have professional companies
Oh, it's
decorating.
amazing.
Animatronics
The
and-
stuff
It's
that they've
unreal.
got is nuts.
Yeah, I don't think we ever decorate. I mean, we've got cobwebs at our house, so is
Well,
that,
there you
that's,
go.
That's
Absolutely
spooky.
it is.
But I don't think as a kid we ever decorated for Halloween.
Did y'all ever go trick or treating very much? Were you big
Not
trick or treaters?
much. We lived in the country.
Yeah, we did
so-
too.
I was gonna say my closest neighbor was a mile away. So
Right.
no.
So really, that didn't happen for me. So I think probably the closest thing would be like going to school to the Halloween carnival or something. Right.
we'd go to our
Right, yeah.
grandparents' house, maybe, and then there was a lady that worked for my dad. We'd go and she'd give us like canned goods and stuff. I mean, it was really nice. I don't think she was expecting
Nice
many trick-or-treaters.
apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course.
Then you had to go through it and make sure there weren't razor blades and hypodermic needles in the candy.
Yeah, we
And so-
lived through that.
So
Yeah.
again, Jason, I mean, out at the Pullum Rosa, that's not high traffic for trick or treaters
Oh,
because
no.
there's too much to
No,
work through.
unlike
how
where
about,
you
how about
live.
your neighborhood?
We
Drew?
turn the porch light off
Turn it off,
usually.
right.
Yeah.
Tim, how many thousands of people will you come by your house?
It's time to get ready in Oliver Crossings because. So I think last year. So here's the problem that I deal with. So I always begin. So Millie, she stocks up, and there's some combination. And we're about to get into this in a minute of trash candy because you got to have filler. And,
Oh, yeah, you
and some
can't
real
afford to
stuff,
just do
right?
good
I mean,
stuff.
I can't just be giving out like,
No.
hey, here's a Snickers bar. I mean,
I mean, you have
I'd go
hundreds
under.
of people.
Oh, yeah. Right. So
come
they
by
just
your door.
flood, for hours. But when it starts, I'm always afraid I'm going to be stuck with all this candy because I think the last couple of years we've started with 2 5-gallon buckets full to the brim. So 10 gallons of candy. And so when you start and there's just
Wow.
this trickle in, you're giving them like a handful.
and by the end, you're like breaking a Snickers bar
exactly.
in half. Yeah.
You're right. It's like just a second,
And it's a mini Snickers
right.
bar?
It's just a second. Let me see if I can crack this jawbreaker in
Yeah,
half.
yeah. You young man, get the wrapper.
And so then you hit that point where you run out, and you have to do the quick dive inside and turn the lights off.
And hope they don't egg your house.
Right. Hope they don't egg your house. Right. So.
Are
But
they
do you
still
ever-
giving out tickets
No,
for your neighborhood?
No, they stopped
Because
that, and
You have to have a pass, though, right?
No. Now traffic can go in, but very little traffic does. Fortunately, because it's very dangerous,
Oh, yeah. It's a
especially
narrow-
once it gets dark. And it gets dark, and people walk down the middle of the street all night. And whenever a vehicle comes by, they really, if they're not creeping along, it gets dangerous. And
Yeah.
but not a lot of people just just drive in. Now some people, like friends of ours, will come and park in our driveway or park in our yard, and then they'll go out and trick or treat from there. But there's not a lot of traffic throughout the night going on.
Have you ever done the game where you act like you're dropping candy in, but you're actually picking candy out of their basket? That's one way to make
no.
it
I
last
haven't
a
tried
long
that.
time.
That's an interesting
It
approach.
works. I have done that before. Or you have a handful of candy and you just put it down in their basket and then
pull it
lift
right
it back
back
out. Then you don't have to buy so much candy.
That's a great mode. Like when I get to my last handful,
Yeah.
I could stretch that out for the rest of the
You
night.
can.
you could.
Because they don't know how. Those kids, by the time especially where you live, by the time they get to your house, they've already got a ton of candy.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, so that leads to my topic for this evening.
Okay.
Because in getting ready for this, you have to know what are the kids eating these days, right? And so this
Genetically modified foods.
This comes from an
sorry.
article.
Different conversation.
Yeah, that's for a different time, right? The takeout.com has ranked the most popular Halloween candy in 2024. And so they gave us the top 10 in popularity order, right? So 1 through 10.
Is this they chose it or they're looking at sales volumes? Did they say in the article? Like, is this
That's a good question.
Is this they're making this up based on their beliefs or
This
by
is- yeah.
what's selling the most?
question.
That sounds like food news.
If you were a hot dog, you were starving, would you eat yourself?
Outstanding. The top 10 list takes well over 15 years worth of statistics into
Okay.
account
So it
to
sounds
determine the most popular Halloween candies.
Okay, so it looks like it's looking at sales volumes.
But as everybody knows, 75% of all statistics are completely made up. So here we go. Top 10
That could
candies.
be one of those.
It probably is.
Okay.
So without further ado, here are the top 10 Halloween candies in the United States in order from most to least popular. All right, I want to give you all a chance. Let's just do do 2 or 3 picks each, and I'll tell you if it's on the list.
Are
and
we
then we'll
going
go through.
popular
This
to
is-
least popular or just on the list?
Right, this is top 10, right? So they're all popular, but if it's on the list, I'll let you know, and then we'll do it. So
The mini Snickers bars have to be on the list somewhere.
okay, that is incorrect. Drew.
well,
Well, your list
if I'm
is
just
already
going to
bogus.
say my favorite candy is peanut butter M&Ms, but
Okay.
I doubt it's on the list.
M&M is on the list.
Okay.
They didn't specify plain or peanut, and
Right.
I think
And that's an important
I think that's
distinction
really
for me.
important, right? So
Starbursts, are they on the list?
Starbursts are on the list.
Yeah.
All right, you got one more.
Probably Sweet Tarts are on the list.
No sweet tarts. All right, here we go. 1 to 10. Number 1 is M&Ms, and again, they don't specify the type of M&M, and that's a really radical difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of varieties these days.
Yeah, but
In the
So I would
mini
imagine they're
packs- in
talking about
mini
the
packs,
originals.
It's got to be the peanuts or the.
yeah, you would assume that they're talking original M&M, right?
If it's a 15-year study,
yeah,
Is one of them called an M?
that's a good question.
don't
I
know.
think one of them's just called an M&M, not an M&M's.
Okay. Well, they just
I
have
don't-
one M
unless
on it.
M&M,
But they just
they
print
belong to
one
M&M.
M on it.
Give me.
is there an
whole bunch-
apostrophe?
Yeah, good question. All right, number 2 in the list, Reese's Cups, or
Ooh,
some
that's
people
a fine
call
candy.
it Reese Cups or
God's
Reese
gift to
Cups,
humans.
or
Yeah.
it goes by a lot of
Now
different
in
names.
ET, the Reese's Pieces were the Halloween.
Well, no Reese's
candy of
Pieces on the
choice.
list.
Reese's
Yep.
cups, I call them the orange wrapped, the vitamins with an orange wrapper.
Oh man,
They're so good.
They are outstanding.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the list, Sour Patch Kids. So we're
That's
going-
what I was trying when I said Sweet Tarts. I was
Yeah,
trying to say
there you
Sour
go.
Patch.
Very good.
What's
Yep,
y'all? Are y'all a Sour Patch Kid people?
My kids are. I'm
they
not.
make my mouth hurt.
I like a little.
Yeah.
The problem is I can't eat a few of them, and I like a few of them, and then they start burning my tongue.
That's yes, and my teeth start really hurting. Of course, I could have a tooth problem.
And that's true.
That may be
That's right.
true.
Ooh, I went to the dentist.
Oh,
Oh, I was going to ask
only
you
in the
about
last
it.
week or so, and it was not the one as we feared.
Okay.
But it was not Our Lady up front.
Yeah.
It was another hygienist, but I would put her in between.
But it wasn't the torture
the
chamber.
wonderland that is. Do we even
Let's
know
not say her
that
name.
No,
Let's-
the lady.
Her.
It was in between terrible and nice.
Yes.
So,
It was
but
but
normal.
between it was the difference between painful and pleasant.
yes.
Yeah.
It was just meh.
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 Exactly. All right. Number
a
4
little
on
mid.
the list is Skittles. Taste the rainbow.
Yeah, that I could see that one. That's out there.
All right. Number
Yeah.
5 on the list, sticking with the sweet stuff, is Starburst.
Okay.
Number 6, surprised that this made the list, hot tamales.
That's garbage candy.
It is sort of garbage
Yeah,
candy.
that's in that junk
and
category.
I like hot tamales.
I do not.
All hot tamales is just a variation of Mike and Ike,
Which is
you
more
know,
trash
which
candy.
again is more trash candy, right? So, speaking of trash candy, on the list coming in at number whatever we are, 7, candy corn,
Nope.
trash.
This is
I
garbage.
I can take a little candy corn, but I
Yeah.
don't want it in my Halloween
I've had-
basket.
Well, I've had some candy corn this season.
What do
And
they
I will-
chip off the sides of a burned candle? What is that?
That's sort of
no,
what
those
it
are
is.
Twizzlers.
Oh, okay.
But I will say, if you take some candy corn may have to get into the couch mix.
I was going to say, if it's in a trail mix,
if
it's
you put it
not
in
a
there
bad
with some
thing.
peanuts and
It's
you get that
not bad.
sweet
Oh, yeah.
and salty thing
I'm
going on,
I'm picking up what you're
don't
throwing
give
down.
up on it,
Yeah.
Drew. We may have to
Oh,
come back to
I'll
that.
try anything.
But those go back to they make my mouth hurt after a while of eating. If I eat too many of
How
them,
many do you eat?
a lot.
Bag.
I've
Look
never
at
eaten
me.
so
Do I
much
look
that it
like I
hurt.
turned down much
I
sugar?
just eat a bag of them, but unfortunately, it's a family
Why
size.
does my mouth
I
hurt?
eat 2 ice cream sandwiches every night. Don't judge me.
Number 8 on the list, Hershey Kisses. That's a classic.
That is
Yeah,
a
that's
classic.
good.
Yeah.
Number 9 on the list, also a classic, the Hershey mini bars, the little squares,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
little rectangles. Those are outstanding. And number 10 on the list, which I have a real problem with this being on the list, Butterfinger. I'm not a Butterfinger fan.
I'm not a big fan of it.
I'll
but
go
I could see
chocolate
where it
before I
goes.
go fruity.
Yeah.
So I'd eat a Butterfinger before
The other
Skittles.
You know, if it's in a cookie, it's pretty good, but I just don't know that I would sit and eat a Butterfinger bar or the little mini bars.
Now, real quickly, this, bringing this up tonight, I was discussing over dinner with the other 2 of the Leighton 3 that this was my item for tonight. And I said, I'd like to get your list. I didn't share this list with them of their top 10 Halloween candies to sort of get a little
Oh, they
local
gave you
flair
10?
here. So they gave me 10. And I will tell
Wow.
you, without throwing a great deal of shade on my wife, this may be the worst list I've ever seen in my life.
I can't wait to hear it.
So I think this may just call out the fact that she's like a Halloween purist. And by that, like
An old soul.
maybe like the oldest soul that's ever
Okay.
existed.
I have to ask this.
In grandma's house.
I
Kind of
need
candy.
you. I
Yeah,
need.
exactly. I mean, it's everything except for orange slices.
I'm jumping.
I was
Look,
thinking about the orange slices.
I'm jumping the list here, but please tell me Dots did not make this list.
Don't steal my thunder, young man. Here we go. The Leighton top 10 Halloween candies. And when I say Leighton, I'm not including me in this
Right.
list.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. In no particular order, because some of these don't deserve to be ranked. First is Tootsie Rolls.
Gross.
I think I've told y'all the story of how Millie thinks Tootsie Rolls is an outstanding candy.
There's something wrong
And
with her.
every year she brings in bags of Tootsie Rolls, and that's what I classify as the junk we're mixing in with everything else, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I love these. These are the best, or
and,
whatever.
And Tootsie
I'm
Pops can
like,
go with them. Gross.
Yeah, that soggy stick at the
Oh.
end.
Don't steal my thunder, young man.
Oh, no.
Also on the list is the Tootsie Pop.
No, Tim.
She added
Does
the
she
Tootsie
have
Roll
taste
and the
buds?
Tootsie Pop. But
Is that with gum or chocolate in the
No,
middle?
it's got the chocolate in the middle.
Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
A
The blow
Tootsie
pop
in the
is
middle.
blow pop.
That's
Yeah.
the gum one.
Yeah. All right. I think this is even worse.
The list can't get worse, Tim.
I believe it can. Au contraire, mon frere. Here we go. She went with, it doesn't even have a name. And I think you probably know where I'm going.
Oh, no.
That generic orange and black candy that
with
comes with
Like the taffy
Black
looking-
wax. No,
yeah,
and
it's
she
the
said-
wax
She
paper.
said it's
Wax
so good.
paper.
It's filled with peanut butter. I've never
No,
even
there's no
opened,
peanut
I've never
butter in
opened
that.
one of these things to test
That's
what was in it.
That's the stuff
No.
they put needles in.
This is the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that this really gets your house egged, right?
That-
You're giving out this stuff.
Yeah.
Word passes around, and they might burn your house down before the night's
Right,
over.
it's dangerous to hand that
Where
out.
did she grow up?
Well, back to the list. The next thing she gave me was something she called cowtails. Anybody?
I've never even heard of that.
Anybody?
Maybe it's actual cowtails.
I'm actually
What
going
are
to
the odds?
I have no clue what a cowtail.
I think there's
know
a
what
strong
yeah.
chance that she ate.
I bet it's gross.
There's. I mean, I've heard people
Cattle
talk about
tails.
eating oxtails, right? But that cow tails.
Well,
now let's see what a cow
Cat tails grow
Her
in
family
my
may
pond.
not have
All
been
right,
able
here
to
we go.
afford a cow.
Cowtail candy, and apparently
Do you get one cow, or are they like a gecko
Hey,
or something?
and do you know what
pull the
hap-
tail
what- you
off
know
and it
what
grows
gets
back?
Apparently, it looks like you ever
I've never seen those, but I've seen what gets on a cow's tail,
No,
and I ain't eating
haven't
that.
seen- right.
right.
Yeah, they don't
So it's
so
it-
gross.
get them lifted up in
apparently
time
it's a
sometimes.
caramel kind of thing. Caramel cowtails. All right. Can we
Did she
stop
grow
right-
up in a third world
Can
country?
we stop right now and just let me reiterate how much I love my wife? Because I know I'm trashing her
sure.
right now, and I don't want
No,
to.
you're not trashing
don't wanna get
her.
in trouble.
You're just trashing her taste
I
in
think
candy.
I'm trashing her candy. Yeah.
Well, it's not.
All right.
It deserves to be trashed.
We are almost out of Millie's selections here. But I'm going to move over to Mr. Layton, Mr. Jonathan Allen Layton, who added to the list perhaps a challenger to the ones I've given you so far when he introduced dots.
Jello. Dots or wax drippings.
Dots.
I don't even know what those are.
It's a little
They're the
box.
candy you throw away.
I think it's a little box of the things you take and put under a table, to help
You
them
can
stand
use
up
them
or
on a
whatever.
door, like on a cabinet door, to
Yeah,
keep it from banging.
exactly.
It's like the little spongy thing.
Exactly.
You'll recognize it, Drew. I bet you've thrown it away a bunch of times.
Now I must
Right there.
say that I'm
Oh, I have seen those.
you've
You've
dots,
thrown them
haven't
away,
you?
I'm sure.
yeah.
No one eats them.
Nobody's ever eaten
But
those
Jell-O.
except for Jonathan. Next on the list was Smarties. What do y'all think about Smarties?
I'm a Smarties guy.
I'm good with Smarties.
It's what the old ladies handed out
That's
at
what my
church.
grandmother kept
I'm
them
a
in,
fan
in
of
her
Smarties.
purse.
I
yeah.
can go through some Smarties.
I probably had childhood diabetes from Smarties.
And I will say that the rest of the list takes a turn up from there. So Nerds,
Good
right?
candy.
So it's a good
Yeah.
sweet candy if you're in for something sweet. Sour Patch Kids made the list, and then a couple of the ones that we talked about off the other list, plain M&Ms and the Hershey little rectangles, the Hershey miniatures.
I'm just glad you didn't get the orange peanuts in that list, because those are
Right,
those
Orange
are just
peanuts,
as awful as that
orange
goes right along-
slices.
Yeah,
And what were those little things that look like a mountain? They were chocolate covered. They're
Oh.
white on the inside.
yeah, they were gross.
That's the old. So that, and then the little canes that were pretty much just like powdered sugar. They just
Yes,
break apart.
yes.
Those-
I know
Pixie
exactly, yeah.
sticks.
no, not pixie sticks.
No, those
but
are like-
the actual striped.
that's like
candies
sugar
that were
crack.
about
That's
this
good
tall.
stuff.
They were about that big around, right?
Yeah, I know what
Everybody
you're
on the
talking
podcast, can y'all see that?
Yeah.
About that big around.
If you'll hold it closer to the mic, they'll
right
be able to see
there,
it. Yeah.
right there. And so, yeah, so those are all the old people. How about the wax bottles that had some kind of
Yeah.
they were awful.
I remember
Just
those.
throw those away too. Yeah.
And we also, growing up, we had candy cigarettes.
Oh yeah. You were excited
I wasn't
if you
allowed
got
to
a
have
candy
them,
cigarette.
but
I
They
must
had
say-
'em at school.
I must say that I've had a candy cigarette or two in my time.
I had
and
to.
kids would hide that in their locker with their
You know-
garbage pail kid cans.
You know what I used
Cards.
Tootsie Rolls for, though? When I was a little kid, like 10, 11, 12, playing baseball, you'd put that Tootsie Roll in your lip. And like you
Looked
had
like
your
you had
dip
some
in.
chaw.
You'd look like
Or you
look
get
like,
Big League Chew.
you'd look
and-
like Lenny Dykstra coming to the plate. That stuff just falling out of the corner of your mouth.
How many candies did we have that were imitations of tobacco products?
We
Quite
had
a few.
Big
Big
League
League
Chew
Chew.
was a big one.
Yeah.
I
Candy
never
cigarettes.
knew that about the Tootsie Roll
Man,
idea,
yeah,
but that's a
that-
good idea.
Well, it had that brown juice coming out the corner, just like Lenny Dykstra.
yeah, the trickle has to go
Yeah,
along with
when
it.
you're batting, you get that right on the plate.
That's nice.
Oh,
All right,
man.
so I think we're into full.
I want you to do an experiment, though. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to go buy a cheap candle at Dollar General and just cut some little sections off and put them in a dots box and see if Jonathan will eat them.
He may do it.
Bet he would.
And he'd be like, "These dots are great."
It won't kill him.
I got to make it sweet, but as long as I make it sweet, he'll eat
Have
it.
you tried a dot? I don't think they're very sweet.
Are they not?
They tasted like candle droppings to
Well,
me.
surely they'll come out some of the, some of these bags of trash
Yeah.
candy with Tootsie Rolls and this other stuff.
Your house
so
might get egged if you're giving out some of that stuff.
fortunately, it'll be dark.
Yeah.
All right. So, Drew.
Well, you guys, if you've seen any TV this week, you know that Donald Trump worked at a McDonald's, and this has been huge.
Huge.
Is it huge?
Huge.
Huge.
Everybody's been talking about
The
it.
biggest event in the world.
But he worked the drive-through, He was serving up some fries, talking to people in the drive-thru, and everybody seemed thrilled that he was there. And then some of his skeptics have done a little digging, and I've heard the news. And just brace yourselves, okay?
Okay.
It was staged.
What?
No.
He does not really work at McDonald's.
Are you serious?
His skeptics are saying this was staged, and I think they have proof.
Are they saying this was just a political stunt?
This was a political stunt. He didn't really work a shift at McDonald's.
Well, there's not been
They
anywhere
closed
where
the
a tie-
dining room.
I knew that when he was wearing a tie at McDonald's. That's not been done since 1964.
Are you telling me that we were dealing with fake news?
We have been defrauded, cheated, lied to.
I'm shocked.
They went through the cars before they went through the drive-thru. They didn't just let random people walk up to the president and buy food from him.
The
Can
next
you believe
thing
this?
you're going to tell me is that Kamala did a town hall where all the questions were pre-screened.
No, Jason.
That's
that
the
would
next
never
thing
happen.
you're going to tell me.
That
I
would
can't-
never happen.
That can't be true.
But the McDonald's thing was staged. It was fake. You know, this is something that has made me question Home Alone 2.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, was that staged?
Probably.
When Trump shows up and talks to a little boy, was that boy's name even Kevin?
Probably.
We don't
not.
know.
And really, what about The Apprentice?
The Apprentice,
Hey, when
Was
was
that
that
for real, or-
was that a real business?
guys, when he showed up
I
in
don't
the
know.
Little Rascals and picked up his son, who was the wealthy kid in the Little Rascals, I believe that was completely staged.
I mean,
It's making me wonder.
what about now when he fought Vince McMahon in the WWF? Y'all may not have remembered that.
You know what's
But it
not
happened.
fake?
Are you saying that could possibly have been staged?
and was
Now-
not for real, not a real fight.
I've got a clip here, and I'm wondering if it's real anymore. I always
I'm
thought
ready
this
to
was
hear
real.
this.
100 days in office, so many accomplishments, lowered my golf handicap, my Twitter following increased by 700, and finally, we can shoot hibernating bears. My boys will love that.
Sir, here's a new bill that you must read immediately. It lowers taxes for only Republicans.
Can't Fox News read it? Now watch what they say.
That's on the Simpsons.
How many
And The
years ago
Simpsons.
was that?
Recently, I
Okay,
think.
a
I'm not-
recent
season-
episode.
I never watched The Simpsons, but it's season 28, according to the
Yeah,
YouTube
that's
clip.
fairly recent.
But I'm starting to question whether that was real.
It sounded like a very bad impersonation. Of
The
was
critics
that AI
of
generated?
the critics of Donald Trump have made me question everything. And here's another twist in the whole thing. Right after he worked at McDonald's, I read this article. What we know about McDonald's E. coli outbreak
Now
investigation.
I
There you
knew
go.
this was happening.
Oh, guys, I forgot this.
If you
food
were a
news.
hot dog, you were starving, would you eat yourself?
Here's what we know. Quarter pounders made people sick. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control issued food safety alert Tuesday. He was there over the weekend.
Yep, it's a conspiracy.
Dozens of people reported eating the quarter pounder sandwich at McDonald's before becoming sick. They're suspecting onions now are the culprit, but I think there's a connection to former President
I
Trump.
heard through the grapevine that they found a little orange dust on the quarter pounders.
Right.
Like-
And he wasn't in the photos, he was not wearing a hat,
No.
a hairnet, or anything.
No. Yeah, I noticed that. So, there's one thing that I don't think is staged about the whole thing, and that is that former President Trump loves McDonald's French fries and has probably consumed a few of them in his lifetime.
There is no doubt about that.
He looked very at home holding the French fry things,
He put extra salt on them.
which they need. I mean, that's the best way to eat McDonald's French fries.
Yeah, when they turned the camera off, he was like, "Would y'all get me a bag?
Yeah.
I'm not leaving here."
Yeah, he's not
empty-handed."
shy about his love for McDonald's.
But I
just
can't
can't
believe
believe
that
it
it
was
was
staged.
staged.
I mean,
No.
I mean, getting serious for a moment, did anybody really think that was supposed to even come off as real?
Well, first of
I mean,
all, this is a guy
guy's-
that's had been shot at twice.
That's
so
what I
they're
was
not
about
just
to
going to
say,
open
yeah.
it up to the general public.
Well,
like
he
they're
was-
going to stick him in a drive-through window.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't he really doing this he was trolling
Yes.
Vice President
Yeah,
Harris,
he was.
right?
He
Yeah.
was.
But because the whole deal about, I don't know if y'all know this, but she grew up in a middle class family.
I feel like I've heard her say that at least one or maybe
And so
1,000 times.
part of the way that was solidified was that she worked at McDonald's, but apparently there's some gap in Ronald McDonald's records.
Yeah,
and
that's fake
they
news
really
is what they're
can't
saying.
necessarily
Yeah.
figure that out when that
Well,
was.
they didn't keep records in the 1980s.
No, never.
Right.
I mean,
No
it-
records.
It bothers me that you think they would do so.
Well, and the fact that, no one has come forward that says she did work there, that's a little suspicious, I think. I don't
I
know.
think maybe we should just test her with hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. What's the next line?
Right.
And
Yeah.
she can't come up with it.
Oh man, I've eaten a lot of McDonald's and I wouldn't have known the next line.
Yeah, I don't
Well, that's a
either.
Burger King jingle anyways.
Oh, Tim.
Maybe if she answered it, it would
great.
have.
Ronald McDonald just
We would have
frowned
known
at
if
you.
she answered. Then they would have known that she was a.
I can't even believe you
was
would
a
bring
Burger
Burger
King
King,
kind of
up.
person.
You bringing it and Dots up in the same night. I may have to defriend you. So I want to stay along this political theme because guys, I don't know if you know this. There's a big day coming up in a couple of weeks.
There's a great day.
We've got an
coming.
election 2 weeks from yesterday, if I'm doing the math right in my head. Is that correct?
I think
November
that's right.
5th?
You are
It's
right.
on a Tuesday.
So if you, let's say a year ago, you had gone into coma and you woke up today with everything going on in the news with politics, how surprised would you be? Number one, Trump is again running for president. Not surprising, but he's been shot at twice. He's shown up in fake news worked at a McDonald's. He's got Elon Musk on his side. He has now convinced Tulsi Gabbard to change parties. He's caused the Cheneys to go the
Also
opposite
convinced
direction.
Liz Cheney to change parties.
So, guys, in the last year, one of the most hated Republicans, period, Dick Cheney. I mean,
Shot a guy's face off.
shot his own friend in the face, is now being trumpeted as a supporter of, I want to make sure I say this right, Kamala. No. Kamala.
Kamala is the Ugandan giant in
Okay.
the wrestling.
Okay.
Kamala is.
Kamala.
And it's also exposing you as a racist
Well,
for saying it that way.
I didn't mean to do that. But
We can edit that out.
We've got Cheney. We've got Cheney supporting her. We've got Elon Musk, who is one of the rich, if not the richest man in the world, who is
And pretty liberal.
pretty liberal guy, basically championing Trump.
Did you mention RFK?
I haven't got there yet. RFK, a Kennedy,
What does that case
Supporting
stand for
Trump.
again?
a Kennedy.
Yeah.
The president, Trump's been shot at, or at least attempted twice that somebody's tried to kill him, and he's survived. And
And somehow
The
it hit
media-
his ear.
the media is turning. It's today. The CNN. I think it was today. I read an article that they're now fact checking. I'm so discombobulated by this. Fact checking Kamala on things she's saying in town hall meetings, and it's like, what is going on in the world? I'm so ready for the whole election season to be over with. I need a break.
And in the realm of crazy, even Saturday Night Live has done a little bit of ribbing, not only of Trump, which that's normal sport and pretty boring because it's been done so much, but also of the Democratic side as well.
They haven't attacked Kamala though.
So I tried to watch.
Not they have someone doing her,
Yeah,
but
not making
she
fun
actually
of her
tries to
yet.
make her look cool.
I was trying to watch a football game Sunday evening, the Steelers game, and every commercial, one would be a Trump ad, the next would
Yes.
be a Kamala ad, the next.
And we're in Alabama.
and look, they are just straight. Both of them.
Which
I mean,
is basically a waste of
can you
money.
imagine living in Pennsylvania?
Oh, wow.
What the
Hers-
ads are like
his
up there?
are exaggerating, but I think they're probably a little more to truth. Hers are she's just saying anything. Trump is an alien. Trump supports this new whatever the what's the thing they keep trying to
Project 25.
Yeah, that one.
2025.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm not. Trump is going to do a national ban. No, he's not said that. And they're just straight lies.
The lies are
Guys, they're
so
and in the
obvious.
down ballot races, it's getting crazy enough that now they're trying to show how manly they are because they're not testing well with quote unquote the man demographic. So there was a guy, he's running for Senate, I think, that went out with another congressman to a gun range. Have y'all seen the video of this? They're shooting in this political thing, trying to get some manliness going. They're shooting like an AR style rifle at a target that's maybe 5 to 10 yards away from him. I'm talking, I could throw a rock and hit this target, and I don't have it. You've seen me throw. I can't get the ball from third to first base to save my life. And they've got this rifle, and the guy's holding it, and he's looking through a high-power scope like he's looking at something 600 yards away. And they're shooting at a still target. And one of the reporters that just happened to show up at this gun range to cover this event ended up catching shrapnel because they were standing too close to the target in the arm. And then they showed them
I had
tying a
not seen
bandage
this.
with a tourniquet. They used a belt for a tourniquet around his arm. I mean, it was probably a scratch. The guy bled a good bit. But
Wow.
we're getting so bad that now we're doing... And the thing that bothered me the most, as an eye care professional, I worry about eye safety. The guy shooting the rifle at a still target, maybe 5 yards away, where was his safety eyeglasses? Up on top of his head. So he's looking through a
kidding.
high power scope, safety glasses on top of his head, injures a reporter, and you've probably not heard a lot about it because you have to look for it. I found it on Not the Bee, which is one of the greatest sites for odd news stories you can find because you've heard of the Babylon Bee that makes
Right. That actually gave me the idea to do the Trump thing because they're the
They
ones
have
that
some
came
great
up with the Home
stories.
Alone 2.
Yeah, they have some great
Article.
stories on Babylon Bee. One of the greatest satirical sites you'll find. Well, they have a companion site called Not the Bee, which is things that you would think are articles that the Babylon Bee has written, and that's where I saw this one. So I need the election to end.
I'm
just
a
ready
little
for it to
concerned
go.
about what's going to happen when it's over, regardless of who wins.
It's going to be chaos.
Because there are extreme supporters on both sides, and I don't think no matter how much credibility the election process may have, they won't accept the results. Either
Well,
side.
no. And there's going to be some story come out right around election day after, that's going to talk about some type of cyber attack, foreign hacking, and that's going to get all the news, and it's just going to stir all the crazies up.
I heard a guy who's on the radio this afternoon coming home that has been involved in a lot of different campaigns. And one of the things he said was, I think he said we're 13 days away. Is that right? 13 days away. And he said, do not listen to anything that's said from this point forward.
No.
He said, it is basically at this point, everything is complete sensationalism. It's off the charts. Everybody's trying to get those last voters.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And said, at this point, it is.
How are there any voters
Yeah,
up for grabs
but-
at this point?
Right. And
What do you need to see
Yeah.
to make up your mind?
At this point, I think it's all, really, is there someone who hasn't made their choice? I mean, if you haven't made your choice to this point,
You're not going to vote.
and so I think really at this point, the idea is who can mobilize the people who are going to vote for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if if you're just sort of, you're not really excited about your candidate or whatever, and you decide to stay home, I think,
And historically,
that's
I
gonna be
think
the kind of difference in the election. Apparently,
Democrats are better at that than Republicans, or they have been in the past.
I do
you're saying
think I see...
immobilizing,
Immobilizing.
But I do think I see a shift in that trend right now, just from listening to some of the local radio shows and granted, we're in a pretty conservative state, so maybe it's just. But I
Well,
feel
the
like
early
there's
voting numbers have been interesting.
they have been
and different than last time.
very
Yes.
different. Yeah. So a question I have is next Monday night. should we like paint anything on our doorpost, like over the lintel of the door, so that the election just passes over us or anything like that?
I haven't considered that.
I really just want that day to come and go, and there not to be a lot of chaos. And I know there's going to be chaos, and I don't like chaos.
I'll tell you one thing, though. I do love election night. I love to watch election night and those states come in.
I'm a sucker for that.
I mean,
Well, the first one I voted in was Hanging Chad. Man, I stayed up all night watching that coverage and still knew nothing the next morning.
But, they start talking, because as they start coming in, right, they'll all, here's the path to victory for this one or that one. And, I mean, that stuff is because, I mean, most of the last several have been very close, right? I mean, I do remember I guess it was the Ronald Reagan, Walter Mondale.
I was about to bring that up to ask if you remembered,
I do.
because I have faint memories of it.
Mondale carried his home state of Minnesota.
Right.
The rest of the map was red. Yeah. I mean,
I was 9 and had no concept of the Electoral College, and I heard that Mondale won one vote, is what I thought I heard. When
So
he just won one state, and I thought
state, yeah.
Ronald Reagan blew it out.
Yeah.
Where like Mondale's wife voted for him, and the rest of the country voted for Ronald Reagan.
He didn't even vote for himself.
Yeah,
It's like, this is some weird stuff.
yeah.
I was like, how is that possible?
Oh, how? So let's make
And
it
that was
on air.
and that would have been when he was being reelected, right?
Right,
Because-
84.
Because he beat Jimmy
Right?
Carter for his first election.
Oh,
'cause
we
you were
haven't
9, I
talked
was
about
5.
Jimmy Carter's vote.
Did Jimmy Carter know he was making the
I
vote?
don't. The pictures look,
It looked like Weekend
Terrible.
at Bernie's.
Well, he's 100 years old.
except worse than Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah,
because he
Bernie's
looked
was at
deader than Bernie.
He did. I'm not sure he knew he was there. And that is, how do you roll him out? That is such
Why
a
did they
bad
take
taste.
pictures?
I mean, somebody fill out 4 mail-in ballots for him like they're going to do anyway and send them in like that. We don't need a photo op of you rolling him in his gurney chair that was bad. That was very bad. Very bad.
If he dies before the election, do we count his vote?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. So let's make a own air. Let's just make a little own air, no wager behind it. But how many days till they come out and say this is the winner after November 5th?
Post-election.
Yeah. Are we getting? Do you think so that's on a Tuesday? I'm going to say it's Thursday before they declare a winner.
It's going to be a long time. It's going to be litigated.
Well,
But you're probably
it
right.
always goes to the Electoral College, right? And does that happen right away typically
Well, but
before it goes to?
It used to.
But they've got to
Back
get
when we
all
used
the
paper
ballots counted.
and stuff.
Yeah.
They could count it.
How long
We'd
did
know
it
that
take,
night.
How long did it take during the Biden-Trump in 20 for him to finally announce that Biden had won that thing? I remember going to bed that night thinking Trump had it, and then waking up the next morning and they're like, "No, Biden has pulled ahead." But I want to say it was
'Cause
days.
That was about Georgia, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see.
That all started in 2000.
Yeah,
Before 2000, we knew the night of the
that's
election who the
exactly
winner
right.
was.
Right.
Every stinking year.
yep,
And
And
then Gore Bush.
messed that up for all of us.
And our technology is light years further,
Yeah.
but somehow we can't get to the answer. That sound. It's just one of the many things in the world that sounds fishy, right? I mean,
Does.
yeah, yeah, it's going to be.
does.
I think that podcast that Wednesday night on November 6th is going to be a fun podcast. Mm-hmm. We're going to have some commentary to talk
I
about.
hope it's fun.
Yeah.
But folks, stay tuned to Passages and you will get your latest news.
Well,
And
it might be a week
political
old.
commentary.
Is
We'll
that like
announce
our-
on this program, we'll announce the winner
Even
of
though
the
we
presidential election.
and even though we've had no one request it, we're not going to be able to do a live election night broadcast.
It's true.
unless the people
Sorry to let everyone
unless
down.
the people demand it.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen.
That means
Right.
at least 2.
Yeah.
Dad, Mom. No, I'm just kidding. Don't.
All right, we'll be back in just a little bit with our Bad Preacher segment.
3, 4.
All right, we're back. We enjoyed the Bad Preacher segment so much last week. We decided to do it again, even though we really haven't heard this clip
It could be
all
dangerous.
the way through.
All right.
Bad preachers. Put your hand on that television set.
And you wouldn't go about establishing your own kingdom in the video room.
Isn't that something called a moshoko matata?
Could it be Satan?
All right, so it's a little long.
I love
Probably
that
need to
intro.
work on the intro
I like
a little bit.
My favorite is the speaking in tongues that happens at about the 3-minute mark during the intro.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. And I don't know if our listeners
I sound
realize
like I have
that
a
was
smoker's
what was
cough.
going on,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's some
Hope the emphysema gets better there.
Yeah.
So here is, let me see if I got this guy's name. This is Dr. John Hamblin. Calls himself America's premier evangelist.
Well,
So
he's a
let's
humble
hear what he
fella.
has to say here.
I wonder how he
By
got
the way,
that.
how did we complain before social media came along? I'm not being harsh, but I've seen a pastor's wife. She posted Mrs. Ferriello on social media. She posted at Dairy Queen, and she was complaining about the Dairy Queen in their town didn't have a drive-through. I thought to myself, sister, I've seen you. A walk would help you. It really would. You don't need a drive-through.
So there's more to this. I don't know what else he says.
Now, this is during a sermon.
Yes, he's standing in the pulpit at his church.
Yeah, let it eat.
Did he mention her name?
Yeah, he
Yeah. He
did.
did,
He called her
A
by name.
walk wouldn't hurt you.
So maybe we need to hear more of this.
On social media, she posted at Dairy
I'm
Queen.
gonna let him say it
and
one
she
more
was
time.
complaining about the Dairy Queen in their town didn't have a drive-through. I thought to myself, sister, I've seen you. A walk would help you. It really would. You don't need a drive-through.
Fat
back to the
shaming in
sermon.
church.
How do we complain
Back to
before
the
social
sermon.
media came along? How did we gripe and how did we bellyache and how did we? And let me help you with something right here. If you can't do adult, then you shouldn't be on Twitter. Say amen right there. You shouldn't be on Facebook. You shouldn't be on Instagram. You shouldn't be on Pinterest. And sir, if you are on Pinterest, we're going to take your man card. That's what we're going to do. You shouldn't even send out a smoke signal if you can't do adult.
I give him a credit for not using the definite article
Christian.
before
Yeah.
each of
was I?
those.
Just
Yeah.
interrupting.
The Facebook, the Instagram.
And when you stand praying, forgive. If you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven
All
may
right, he's
forgive
putting
you.
me to sleep now. But the main thing is, sister, I've seen you. A walk would help you. It really would. You don't need to drive through. He didn't say anything about her eating at Dairy Queen, which would have been the low-hanging fruit on the fat shaming.
Wait,
He went,
is it bad to eat at Dairy? I had lunch there Saturday.
well, they serve up some high-calorie meals.
Yeah, but his
There's
point-
nothing
but his
wrong with
point was-
enjoying that.
but
his
nobody
point
goes
was
there
that
for a
she was-
salad.
The point was she was eating there. He said she ought to walk there in order
Yeah.
to walk it off.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Right, but he's okay with her eating there. She just needs to walk there.
Yeah, you don't need a drive-through.
He's not talking about you, Jason.
It
You're
would
trying to
help-
beat
it would
anorexia,
help
and you're
you.
doing a really
It
good
really
job.
would.
It's not getting me down. I promise you
You
that.
really,
Yeah.
really.
you were
doing
also
well.
offended by the Pinterest
The
reference.
Pinterest, now, guys,
because you did get some
I'm
of your
on-
woodworking ideas, right? And
my quote idea. I mean, I'm on Pinterest, yeah, and I'm proud of it. America.
Hey, no criticism here.
I'm going to go out and hunt tonight just so that I can feel a little manlier now.
We've seen your woodworking. It is very manly.
Thank you. Thank you. I've got a scratch right here from some woodworking I did earlier somewhere. It's up here, yeah.
Are you like Ron Swanson? If it looks too good, do you destroy it because it looks
Well, you can't
machine made?
can't be perfect. It's got to be handmade.
it's
if it looks machine made,
it's perfect
You
in its
destroy it.
imperfection.
yeah.
Yeah. So
There's beauty in the flaws, Tim. Beauty in the flaws.
We've played this clip out. I don't think there's anything else we can say about it.
I want to know, have you ever been tempted to get on the soapbox during your sermon and talk about something like that?
No.
Because when you're up there, you have the pulpit. You could have the bully pulpit if you wanted.
I mean, there are some nerves that get touched while I'm up there.
I've always expected you to go on a small rant about stuff that gets left in the auditorium. And you've disappointed me that you
That's
haven't.
only happened in closed quarters.
Closed quarters.
Yeah, it has happened.
And perhaps if you listen to this and are part of an exclusive group of people,
You may
this
have been there
congregation,
before
you might have
this.
been there before.
Yes.
If you're one of the select few that have been around for a long, long time, you might have heard a soapbox rant one time.
I also want to know, I think he said Fair Halo or something like that.
He dropped her name.
Which
I
is
mean,
mean.
Does she attend his congregation?
He said it was a pastor's wife, though, right?
Yeah, so
Okay. So
former friend of his, I would assume at this point.
Emphasis on
He's got a
former.
nickname I see here when I open the clip up. His nickname's John Ramblin' Hamlin. And he was rambling.
A little rambling.
I don't know that I'd enjoy going to John Ramblin' Hamlin's sermons.
I'd be squirming in my seat a little bit.
I'd be afraid he's going to fat shame me about my Baconators.
Well,
And if you've been to Wendy's, I don't know why I keep speaking like the guy that talks about the video kingdom.
y'all didn't get to see the video, but he doesn't look like a marathon runner.
Is he
to
wearing
me.
a tie?
Himself, huh?
Oh, he's decked out,
Best.
suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cute.
Well, all right. Rambling Hamlin.
Has he got
I
a
would put him-
hairpiece on?
So maybe we need to end these segments with a ranking scale of 1 to 10. How bad of a preacher is he?
Oh, I like that.
This, you know, what did we do last week? We did the don't talk
don't you
while
be
I'm
talking.
preaching.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
I don't like that guy. I'm giving him a 9.5.
Yeah, that guy's top
last
of my.
week.
He's
I
on
think-
my bad list.
I think we rank them in terms of their badness, right? I mean,
Right.
so like, this one.
Not that their
is
message,
sort of, a little timid, right? He didn't nail anybody. Like, I mean, the last guy was just such a jerk.
and
She wasn't in the room.
Yeah. And the last week's guy, his mannerisms were he was just looking to just to throw darts at that.
JL had a cheese factory.
Hey, I hope somebody's talking when you're preaching.
I'm preaching about JL's cheese factory.
And then this week's more like Sister Bertha better than you. Needs
Sister,
to
I
walk.
seen you.
who I may not even know, right? So he loses.
He didn't
points.
use the
he loses
word
points.
fat.
There's not anybody like in the audience that he's talking
Yeah.
to or whatever. He doesn't get points for
I
that.
feel like this guy belongs in the Mississippi Squirrel Revival song by Ray Stevens is where he would fall. So I'm gonna put him like pretty innocent, 2.5 or a 3 on my scale.
I'm gonna say a 3.
Yeah.
3 because we know what's coming.
It
We
sounds
got
like
some
he-
better ones.
Does
on
he
this.
preach in that sleepy little town of Pascagoula?
Someday I'm gonna drive my car on every street in this town, and I won't have to go very far to show that I'm dead and alright, but I don't need a
Welcome
suit
back.
to impress
We are ready for our third segment of the evening, our passage, and Jason's going to read it for us.
So this passage is from Madeleine L'Engle. It's from the book A Wrinkle in Time, which was published back in 1962. And the quote is this: "But of course, we can't take any credit for our talents. It's how we use them that counts, and I make far too many mistakes." I'll read it one more time because that's just what I do. It says, "But of course, we can't take any credit for our talents. It's how we use them that counts, and I make far too many mistakes." Good quote. All right, that's a good
So
podcast.
there's an assumption here.
See you next week.
Yeah. Mic drop. There's assumption here that there's such a thing as talent.
Yeah.
So I've moved in this position throughout my life. There was a time that I did not even believe in the concept of talent. Meaning, I kind of had this idea that we all start out with the same material, and
it's
going
all a
along
matter
with
of
this quote,
work,
what
right?
you do with your life is what matters the most. And part of that was affected by my brother Ash took violin lessons, and he used the Suzuki method. And Suzuki taught that you shouldn't think of talent. I don't know if it's right to say he didn't believe in talent. It may be what he said. But Suzuki believed he could teach any child to play the violin. And that stuck with me. And it's something that I wanted to believe. But now I think, talent is obviously a part of the formula.
And we want to believe that, right? Because it means that as we are growing and learning and developing ourselves, that the whole gamut of the world is out there at our in terms of our opportunities, right? Every skill that exists out there is a possibility for us, right? If we put enough effort into it, that's the idea, right? And
I think that it depends on what area you're looking into, because I think in athletics, all right, some people are 6'9", and as bad as you want to be 6'9", you're probably not going to get there. That's a talent that would make you better at basketball than someone who's 5'3".
Well, but the talent and the genetic predisposition for size are totally different.
You think those are different things?
Because Muggsy Bogues, 5'3", spectacular basketball talent.
But that's DNA.
But part of that is learned skill. You take Larry Bird, who's built like I am and probably was not when he was playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's one that had to work extremely hard at his craft. Now, I think there's a genetic predisposition that comes into our talents. To me, I think talent, and I think there is some that are just God-given talents. I think some people genetically, in the way they're made and their family history, are more predisposed to being good at certain things. I love to play piano. I'm awful at playing piano. For me to play at a high level of playing piano, I would have to take lessons and practice days and days and days and days every week. And after a few years, maybe I would be comfortable with my level of There are some people, we've got a young man that attends church here that can hear a song, sit down at a piano without ever taking a formal lesson and play that song. That's talent. Our ability to learn a skill is equal. We can all learn a skill. Talent shortens the amount of time, I think, that it takes to be highly proficient in a skill. And some of that's genetic, some of that's life experience.
Right. How much of that is interest?
I think that's a big part of it.
I think a lot of it is interest. If you're more interested in learning it, you're going to go through the frustration of failing time and time again. You're going to practice more. You're just going to do it until it's right. I've got a nephew like that who just keeps practicing, keeps working at it, and he won't quit until he gets it right.
I think a talent is something that's developed, but I think there's maybe something to say for, and I don't know if this is really a different term or not, but the idea of being gifted in an area, that you have a gift for it. And you even take the Larry Bird example, right? So we know that Larry Bird was not the fastest guy on the court, and he was 6'8" around that, and he didn't play above the rim, so he couldn't jump that high. But he had a different set of gifts. He had the ability to see a play. He was one of the greatest passers that ever lived, and a lot of that was he could envision what was going to happen.
And a very strong competitive edge.
Mm-hmm. And, if you want to talk about he was a great shooter, right? So the repetitive motion of a shot and that kind of thing. There were, he didn't look like the prototypical NBA star of the day in his skills, but he had another set of gifts that allowed him to be successful there. And
is that competitiveness just another word for interest?
I would think.
I mean, wanting to win is an interest
Yeah.
in the game.
I would think there's some
So
of that.
I think interest is a huge part of talent.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, no
opportunity.
doubt, right. Yeah.
Opportunity.
You know,
Yes.
the book Outliers by Malcolm
Yes.
Gladwell, one of his biggest things that he writes in that book, and each of the characters he goes through, is the opportunity that those men had at a specific time and the advantage they took of that opportunity. And that made the difference between, someone like, I think Bill Gates is one of the guys he talks about in that book.
He's one of the few people in the country that lived near a mainframe computer.
And because of a situation and a relationship he had unfettered access to it.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think there is a lot of it that is just opportunity and being able to take advantage of opportunity. But I think the Bible teaches that God gives us different talents. I mean, I think that's a biblical concept. And some of us have more talents than others, and some of us have different talents than others.
We use that word talent, which came from the parable of the
talents. Yeah.
The talents, and what we mean is ability.
Yeah.
And ability is just what you are able to do, which includes all these factors. When you break it down, it doesn't sound as unfair as we make it out to be.
That's right.
Everybody has, and we say this all the time. I don't know how much we believe it, but we say everybody has their own talents. And what that means is you're special, you're unique, you have opportunities and influence and interests that are all your own that make you special. So the quote is somewhat true in the beginning that we can't take credit for that. You're placed in life in a certain way that generates interest and opportunities for you.
And I think this whole soup that we're talking about of all these different components that come together, the journey for someone to develop in a certain way, I don't think there's any doubt that whole combination of things can be easier for person A than it is for person B. I mean, because some of it are things that are under our own control. Our things like our interest level. Some of them are not under our control, the environment that we're in. So there's a whole mixture of things. But I think one of the things that's really important when it comes to this idea of talent, and I think this applies to ourselves, it applies to us as parents and working with our kids, is just because it doesn't come easy or what we might call naturally doesn't mean that a person shouldn't challenge themselves in a particular area. Mm-hmm. And I think far too often, if, hey, you don't have it, that kind of discussion goes on, it pushes a person out of that way. And sometimes I think the best people in a particular field or discipline are those that really, really want to do it and work very hard to maybe get past some of these natural things we're talking about. And those other components, my interest and my desire, help me get through those things. Now, I'm not saying that some of us, that all of us can do everything that's out there in the world. I mean, I think we all probably have limitations in certain areas. I think, I feel like, we're all somewhat, that whole left brain, right brain thing, right? There are artistic people and there are people who are more scientifically slanted. Now, does that only happen because that's the way they're steered through life a little bit? Certainly there's
it comes down to that nature
right?
versus nurture
Absolutely,
discussion.
right? And so, it's a very interesting concept, but I think one of the things that we shouldn't do in that area is just to assume, hey, because this doesn't come easy to you, you probably ought to steer away from this. It's not your thing.
Well, and most of the people who are very talented in whatever their field or thing they do is, stood up to a lot of adversity, people telling them, you're not going to be good enough to do this.
Right.
I mean, you can't tell me that, some of these professional athletes haven't had adversity in their life and people tell them, you're just not going to be able to do this. You're not good enough. And you know what they did? They took that as a challenge instead of took that as a discouragement.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to remind ourselves that too, because there's a lot of things that I would enjoy doing that I don't do just because I either get discouraged about it and just say, well, I'll just put that up for a while and I'll come back to it when I have time, which is what we're bad to do instead of creating time for it. I like the fact that she says we can't take credit for our talents too, because I do think it's a group. I think our talents are a culmination of our life experiences, the influences on us, the opportunities we've had, the advantages we've taken of those. Some of it is genetics. And we can't just say, look at me, how great I am at this thing, because we didn't do it on our own.
Right. And I think the quote makes more of an impact if you insert a talent into what the character is saying. Mm-hmm. So I can't take credit for my smarts. It's how I use it that counts. I can't take credit for my musical ability. It's how I use it that counts. And so on. And when you put that in there, it really makes an impact.
It does. And I like that the author of this quote says, and I made too many mistakes. I mean, I can't take credit for my talent, because part of being very talented at something is knowing that you've made a ton of mistakes. I think it was Edison that said he didn't figure out one way to invent a light bulb. He figured out 2,000 ways to not invent a light bulb. I mean,
I'm sure if I read this in context, that would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm struggling with that part of the quote because it sounds like the character who's saying this, I want to say she, but I don't even know what character in the book is saying this statement. That's my mistake of not preparing for tonight. But, is she saying I made too many mistakes and not using my talents as I should? Or is she saying what you are saying, which is not, she seems to be bemoaning the fact that she's made mistakes. But if you use your talents, the more you use them, the more mistakes you're going to make, and you learn from those failures and you get better, you grow.
Another thought that I had about that portion about I make too many mistakes, so often we are very, very quick to take ownership of our talents. I am so great at this. Let me show you how great I am. We are really, really slow, though, to take ownership of our mistakes. And when I read this quote, I thought, if you're going to own one, you have to own the other, right? If you're taking credit for your talent, you have to take credit for your mistakes. But if your talent is not just from something you've done all by yourself, then some of your mistakes are not just because of things that are in 100% of your control. And so I didn't know if the author, like I said, with it out of context, I don't know what was being said there. But
right.
I think we have to take ownership. If we're going to take ownership of our talent, we've got to take ownership of our failures as well. And that was, I wondered if that's what it spoke to. Maybe I should actually pick up a book and read it. A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a basic truth here, right, that says if there's something that you're good at, find a way to contribute to society, to the lives of others with that gift.
Right. And I would even amend that to say there is something you're good at. Find a way to use it to help others.
And I would amend that to say that it's not just find a way, it's a responsibility to use that to help others.
We go back to this passage a lot, but I'm sure y'all are thinking about 1 Corinthians 12, the analogy of the body. And there's a statement Paul makes in verse 18, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them as he chose. In other words, don't regret or be bitter about not being a hand or a foot. Don't cry that you're an ear instead of an eye. There's a way to use your special abilities in the place where you are Focus on what you can do. Don't put yourself down.
Yeah.
And I think there's also a biblical warning against not using those talents. I mean, in the parable of the talents, the guy with the one that went and hid his talent and
Did
didn't
not
use
turn out
it
too well for him.
It did not go well for him. And I think that goes back to where it's our responsibility to use our talents to help others. It goes back to what Eli was talking about tonight in class, that there's the two greatest commands are love God and love your neighbor as yourself. You use your talents to love your neighbor as yourself. That's how you connect to people, is through your talents.
Right. You know, growing up in the church, you know, you hear a lot of times, you know, what are some of the most important skills that we need in the church? We need people to teach. We need people to teach the world. We need people to teach our kids. We need people to teach our adults. You know, there's that. There's, you know, I don't have the ability to get up and pray in front of others or lead a song in front of others or whatever it might be. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be able to do everything, but just that limitation because you're nervous about it or you're afraid you're going to make a mistake about it is a far cry from I don't have the talent. I don't have this talent, right?
That's right.
And I think we always need to be, you know, and so it's easy for me to say that because I do those things, right? There's something that applies to me, right? That is my, there are plenty of things that are my weak areas where it's like, I'll take one step back and wait for everybody else because that scares my pants off.
But if you would try that and continue to try it, you would build your own ability to do that. And that's, you know, going back, I hate to keep going back to professional athletes, but if you take the greatest hitter, who's the greatest hitter in Major League Baseball right now? I don't even have a clue.
Oh, Shohei Ohtani,
Let's take
maybe?
him, yeah. So if that guy stopped going to the cage, stopped working on his craft, in a year or two of not hitting, he could probably still swing a bat pretty good, and he could probably still make contact with a baseball. But he would not be playing at the same level that he plays at now because he stopped taking opportunity to grow that skill. Right. And sometimes we only grow that talent, we grow that skill by making ourselves uncomfortable and putting in the work. And I mean, the thought of getting up and leading a song is the most terrifying thing in my life. I can get up and teach. I can get up and pray. I can do anything up front you need me to do. You give me a songbook and put me up there, I turn into just a puddle of goo. I cannot do it. I can't make eye contact. And, you know, part of that is I stopped about 30 years ago getting up there and trying to do it because I had one negative experience, and I let that negative experience. And now 30 years down the road, you would have to put a gun to my head and force me to go do it. And it's not that I can't.
It's not that you can't sing, and not that you can't carry a tune.
I didn't take advantage of opportunities I had over the years.
That journey that went through
and
it.
So to me, that's a talent I'm not going to have or use.
And I think, you know, before we sort of close this idea around talents, you brought this up, and I think one of the things that we need to do for others as they're building talents is encourage others and help others, particularly if it's in an area where you can, right? I mean, I really like the idea of bringing people along the journey with you. If you are, and I'll go back to gifted or talented in something, one of the ways that you use them is by sharing that gift with someone else. I think that's one of the greatest. That's the way that you can take that gift, even if you hone it and you're a 7 out of 10 at it, and you work and you're a 9 out of 10 at it. But if you're a 7 out of 10 at it and you share that gift with 4 other people, you've created more than you ever could yourself. I think that's one of the greatest things that we can do with our talents is try to help others who are interested in that same kind of thing.
That's hard because that requires us to get out of the way sometimes and let somebody else have an opportunity. And sometimes the things we love to do and we're good at, we don't want to turn them over to others.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that's what creates a void when we're gone.
But that goes back to one of John Maxwell's laws, the law of, is it the law of replacement? Or something like that, where you want to you want to basically do a good enough job of teaching others that you are no longer, that you basically make yourself obsolete.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, you know, that's one of the things that I think that is such a great idea, is you're not going to show your value in any place in life by, hey, y'all are going to miss me when I'm gone, right? You show your greatness in something by, how is this still moving along? And that person had a progression plan, right? And, you know, and put things in place such that now there was somebody ready to follow them and carry this thing on. And, you know, wherever we are in life, whether it's in business or in the church or wherever we are, we should never want for something that we're involved in to fail because we didn't help somebody else.
We cared more about ourselves.
Develop their talents. And it's like, no, I want people to understand how good I was at this by how painful it is not to have me doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
That attitude is far too common.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we are so glad that you joined us tonight, and we hope that you'll spread the word. We'd like more people to take advantage of this podcast. But, you know, if we're stuck with just those of you who are listening now, that's fine with us too.
Not that we're stuck with you.
We don't feel that way.
Yeah. We have the joy. Yeah. Oh, stuck. No.
Oh, that's what you meant.
You meant like gum on the bottom of a shoe stuck?
Yeah. We
all
enjoy
30 of you
stuck.
don't get offended, please.
I was being a little facetious, but
we know.
It's not, humor is not my talent, guys.
Keep working at it, Drew.
We've seen that over years of you doing
week.
jokes from the pulpit. Yeah, not a talent.
I quit doing the jokes.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, as I was saying, leave us a rating or review on Apple Music, on Spotify. Tell others about how to get in touch with us. Let us know. Give us some feedback. Look us up on Instagram and follow that account. And you'll see our quotes. We like to put those up every week. And any news that's going on, we'll let you know through that. And you can message us. Pretty soon we'll be doing another listener request episode, I'm sure. And so you can be sending us those or thinking about what you might want to send in for that. But the most important thing is to stay tuned. We'll be talking about the election soon, not next time, right? But the next
2 weeks, yeah.
So I hope the world is still standing and we'll be able to do that. But in the meantime, there are a lot of passages to get to, so keep listening.
Follow us on Instagram at passages_podcast. And join us next time on Passages.